Hello everyone, it's Amber, and here I am in the first video I'm making of hopefully a series dedicated to fixing my forgotten or neglected units. Today I thought we would start with KINICHHH. I bought both KINICHHH and his weapon on his first banner because at the time I was really enjoying the Tribal Chronicles, and it's not often that I actually like male designs in this game, so when I liked KINICHHH's I jumped at it straight away. Hello again, it's Amber from the future, and just before we get into this video I want to put in a quick disclaimer. There is a lot of barking in the background of a few of these clips. There's a dog living behind me who is basically neglected by their owners. He's left out there day and night barking in distress. We've reported it to the appropriate authorities, housing agencies, etc., but nothing is being done, and it is becoming quite frustrating. Obviously not at the dog, at the owners. But the trouble is when one dog barks, they all start barking. It's chaos. So I just want to apologize immediately. There is so much barking in the background of this video, and I can't use my noise suppression because it gives me the most awful lisp. So I'm so sorry in advance for the sheer amount of barking that you're probably going to hear in like the second half of this video. So firstly, here is the team I was kind of considering playing him in. I'm funnily enough building him whilst his best in slot teammate is on the banner, but I won't be pulling for Emily as I'm saving for units in 6.0. I don't understand KINICHHH too well, so here are my characters. Let me know if anyone here, preferably already built, that would synergize well with him. I don't really want to build units like Toma and Dea because I won't really be using them in any other teams, and again I want to hoard resources for 6.0. When I got KINICHHH, I did level him and his weapon and his talents a decent amount, but as more and more natlan units came out, I just kept on stealing his build again and again. I've literally got a flower and a goblet. That's all I've got, and this is offset, so we're gonna need to get onset on all the other pieces because we need that 4-piece bonus from obsidian. So the main focus of the next 3 weeks is materials for his talents and artifact grinding. I actually only need 9 more books for his talents because I only tend to 699 characters that I don't main. I only crown characters that I main. So I think the first thing that we're going to do today is we're just going to do some artifact runs. I'm not actually capped, I'm at 171, but that's enough runs for one day. I would normally condense my resin, but I'm trying to save crystal flies right now, so I'm just being inefficient. You guys know whenever I do domains, I tend to just do whichever team is going to get it done the fastest. Okay, let's see how this goes.
Get to work.
It's quite a low roll, but it could roll crit damage. Wrong set. Honestly, them adding this skip reward cutscene, best thing ever. Again, wrong set. These actual substats would be so good for Sitlali, but it's the wrong main stat. I'm gonna lock it just in case one day we get a main stat switcher. Also, just a disclaimer, I know my rotations are really scuffed, but I'm in a domain, so I'm not really trying. This could maybe roll crit rate. Kachina finally has her onset goblet. Guys, what if whilst I was trying to build KINICHHH, I accidentally built Kachina instead? Not very good. One more run left. And a wrong set. So I'm not gonna lie, we got absolutely nothing. We could try and roll this to see if it gets crit rate. Nope. And then we can roll this to see if it gets crit damage. Okay, Okay, we got crit damage. Out of all the artifacts, he actually does already have a flower. However, this one could be really good roll value if it only goes into crit damage, right? I'm just gonna put a couple of this random artifact fodder in. Okay, we have one off roll so far. Yeah, we definitely won't be using this piece. We're just gonna stop there, I think. We haven't gotten anything good today, so I'm just gonna claim my friendship XP and skip my commissions. And then I'm gonna log off for the day. I have so many encounter points, I almost never do commissions. Okay, so day 2 of farming this godforsaken domain. Hopefully we have better luck than we had yesterday. I honestly just want to get like one usable piece with like maybe 3 lines. Like the bar's on the ground. This could roll crit rate and be good. No. No. At least the pieces that we're getting are the right set. Which is not normally characteristic of my luck. Okay, that could be good. So in general today we were quite unlucky. We have a couple more flowers. However, flowers are like one of the only things I just don't really need. I have quite a few. I think we're gonna start with the 4-liner, and I'm just gonna put this piece in because it's not gonna get used. We only really want crit rate and crit damage here. Like, hello? Like, what is this? Okay, let's see if this rolls crit rate. Okay, those are both getting unlocked. So again, another day in this domain with nothing. I'm just gonna go ahead, claim my dailies and wait until tomorrow. So now it's day 3 of building KINICHHH, and it is a Friday, so we can do some of those talent materials. I actually only need a few more of these books, so I'm hoping that after today I won't need to farm talent materials anymore and it's just artifacts. Which is good because so far I haven't gotten anything good, so I feel like I'm gonna need to be in this domain longer than I probably wanted to be. Generally my goal with my characters is to have them in the top 10% range if I play them a lot and enjoy them, and if I don't really care, like I'm happy with like the top 30% range. I'm not really like a big maxer, I guess is the word. Like I don't care as much as I think a lot of other people do, like about my characters being top 1%. Don't get me wrong, I think I want my other Kino eventually to be a lot stronger, but I don't know if I have the mental for constantly being in the same domain and like vertically investing in characters, because I have quite a short attention span, like in general, especially at Genshin. Like I get sick and tired of being in the same domain. I was in Whimsy for 2 weeks and didn't stop complaining, so after a few runs we do have enough to officially level KINICHHH's talents to 699. And that is my goal for characters that I don't play frequently. I just don't crown characters that I don't love. I crown Navia and Farina because I love them and their lore, their story, their character design. I love everything about them. But KINICHHH, I can't explain it. I like his character, I think, and his personality, but I can't say I'm like the biggest fan of his gameplay. I like his character design as well. I think he looks really cool. I do think he was supposed to be a bit darker. I'm not the biggest fan of how pale he is, considering, you know, where he's from. I do think 699 is fine, because I also just don't have his best in slot supports. Like, I don't think this is going to be the difference in his damage at all. Don't get me wrong, he's still going to be hitting maybe like 150 to 200k like ticks, which is good, but he's not like Moviga. He won't be breaking my damage record, so I think that means with the rest of our resin, we might as well do a couple more runs of my favorite artifact domain. So day 3 of this artifact domain, and yes, I'm using a character in a pyro res domain. That's pyro. Yep, I'm doing that. I mean, that would be good for Yan-san. I don't know if it'll be an upgrade, but it would be good. Stop me. Okay, as per usual, nothing good. So that concludes day 3. No new artifacts, but we have got his talents done, so I can adjust my schedule for this next week. So my talent days are spent in the artifact domain. So more artifacts, hopefully more chance of getting something usable. So guys, it's now day 4 of farming the obsidian domain for my kinich. However, I am just going to slightly change like the layout of this video. So now, because I'm only farming this domain for about 2.5 more weeks, I think I'm only going to show the runs where I get something that looks useful, and then at the end we will level them all together and see if any of them are usable. So yeah, for the next I guess 2.5 weeks, I'll be saving all my artifact XP, all my Amora, and all the artifacts to do all at once. So it just keeps the rest of the video organized. So let's go do our 5 runs for today. Hopefully we get a couple useful things. Okay, this is what we're talking about. Double crit attack sands. Sands are really difficult to get, so this is honestly one of the best pieces that I could have asked for. Hopefully this rolls well. If it doesn't, obviously I don't have any feathers right now, but next patch I will, because obviously I'll be buying the battle pass, etc. So this could be good. They're quite low rolls generally, but we'll see. We can level this. So guys, I'm not gonna lie, it's been about 2.5 weeks of farming KINICHH's domain, and I haven't really got anything that insane. However though, we're only missing one piece, and that's a feather, which only costs 1 elixir to craft, and I know that's a really big waste of elixirs to use them on objectively the 2 easiest pieces to get, because you don't have to worry about the main stats. But I want to be done with KINICHHH so badly, because I want to move on to other units. Like, I don't mind the domain, but I really want to move on to some new units. But however, in this farming session, as you guys did see, we got a double crit attack sands. However, I unfortunately wasn't recording because I got this when I was clearing the 16 onslaught. I redeemed my resin there instead. Completely forgot to record, and I actually got this crit damage chocolate, which is perfect. I also have, well, 1 elixir, and I have 4 dust of alignment, so we can do some rerolls if they roll really poorly. But I think we just force in and get KINICHHH done today, so that I can start moving on to other units, because I think next I want to do my helluu, because someone commented on my Nefa video saying there's quite a fun helluu and Nefa team. So I would like to fix her up, so I'm able to try that. So firstly, I suppose we should craft our new artifact. So yeah, we're going to do a obsidian codex feather for 1 of our elixirs with crit rate and crit damage, and hopefully we get a 4-liner. Maybe some ER would be great, and I think he also needs some attack. Okay, let's go. 4-liner with attack percentage. These are pretty low rolls, but hopefully it rolls well. So let's just get straight onto our KINICHHH and equip our new feather. So the 2 pieces that he has got leveled are his goblet here and his flower here as well. These had some pretty good rolls, only 1 dead roll. And then this one rolled okay, but into defense twice, but it did give us loads of crit rate. So it does mean we don't have to worry about crit rate as much on these pieces. I think we should start with the one I'm probably the most worried about, and that is his circlet. I would really like some ER and crit rate. However, this isn't the most important piece. Okay, ER, which is really good on KINICHHH. ER again. Crit rate, okay, this is going really well so far. So now I'm sure the last 2 rolls are going to go into HP. Okay. Okay, this isn't bad at all. Don't get me wrong, I would have liked maybe another roll into crit rate, but these aren't completely dead rolls. And it's actually the best circlet now that I have for him. And it's glowing! Okay, next let's go on to his double crit attack sounds again. I'm really worried about this one. Okay, first roll into crit damage. Second roll into crit rate, okay. Don't get too excited though. Hold on to your hats. Okay, an EM roll. This not completely useless on KINICHHH, but it's not necessarily helpful either. Crit damage again, okay. One more roll into crit rate or crit damage would make me so happy. Let's go! Wait, our KINICHHH is going to be cracked. Now lastly, our feather. Ideally we'd like crit damage rolls here. Crit rate roll, also not useless. Any of these 3 stats are obviously perfect. Crit damage, okay. Crit damage again, let's go. Wait, this is going so well. Okay, attack. Again, a really good stat. Okay, last roll. Let's go! Wait, this has gone so well. Hello. Let's go! I am really tempted to reroll this. I do have 4 and like, I don't have anyone else I particularly want to use them on. And at least if it goes wrong, we can keep the previous one. Future Amber here for a voiceover. In this clip, the dog barking was like particularly bad, so I literally have to voice over it. It's so terrible, but I'm just gonna go for it. I'm full sending, and it was worse. I think I misunderstood, because I thought 3 rolls were gonna go to each stat. Like, I paused here because I'm really confused. But if someone could explain in the comments, like, where I've gotten confused, that would really help, because I still don't know. Like, I've obviously just been stupid and not realized something, but you can literally see me like hovering trying to figure out what I've done wrong. But I do end up keeping the original. So this is our overall build. Let's have a look at Akasha and see where he lands. I would have liked to have a little bit more attack, but this is really good regardless. And then just as a disclaimer, I know that Akasha isn't like the holy bible of Genshin, and I know that it can be quite inaccurate. I just like to look at it as like a benchmark for my characters. And by looking at the leaderboard, I can kind of see stats that maybe my characters are missing. It does usually end up being their flat stats, so like attack, defense. It's really easy to like over invest into crit rate and crit damage and kind of ignore those more niche stats like attack, EM, ER, etc. Okay, so overall KINICHHH sits at about top 19%, which is pretty good because in general, units I don't use very often. I don't really care to be excessively good. I did have a goal written down somewhere that I wanted him just to be in the top 30%. I didn't mind too much if he wasn't great. The only person I have top 1% is my Navia, and that's because I love her and would die for her. Even my C6R5 Arlecchino is like top 10%, like she's not excessively high. Honestly, I'm happy with this, and especially where I only spent about 3 weeks fixing him, and I feel like a lot of free-to-play players spend even longer trying to fix their maybe bench units or units they don't use as often. However, I'm super happy with this build. We have all shiny pieces. And now I think it's only right to go do a damage test. As far as my actual party setup, I have a couple options and a couple theories, but I'd really like some help down below about what team I should actually play KINICHHH in. I'm not the most familiar with his passives or playstyle, so this is a wild guess. This team is based off the Burgeon and Vape reaction. Farina will react with the Pyro for the Vape, and then the Bloom cores that these two create should then react with Pyro for Burgeon. However, I know that he's also really good with a burning team. I was considering this team as Nahida holds Deepwood, and then I can put Movika on a 4-piece Cinder build instead of her current DPS Obsidian build, which means that we get some really useful artifact bonuses. However, this one is strictly reliant on burning, whereas this team has more, I guess, versatility with having multiple reactions. This was the team that I'd originally planned for him, so I'm gonna try this Virgin slash Vape team today. I have no idea how to do rotations of kinich, so I'm just gonna look it up quickly and kind of hope for the best. It might not be the best damage showcase you've ever seen, but I'm gonna do one run with food and then one run without, but we'll start without. I'm also not really sure about how I dodged the bloom cause, so I'm a bit concerned, but listen, we're learning together. Okay, so I'm sure you start with Bennett.
Let's light it up. Everybody, I'm the right hand into the fire. Strike a pose.
Locked on.
Okay, so we're hitting about 100, I think that's 194k and 172k with no food, which is really good. And I didn't even ult with him, that was only using his skill. But listen, let's go get some more energy and then do the same thing but with food this time. I didn't even put the food on. Hello. As you can see, I'm locked in. I'm very locked in. Okay, we're back with energy this time, and I'm gonna remember to put my food on. In fact, I'm gonna do it right here. So we're already guaranteed to crit, so I don't think this crit food is really necessary, but we'll take it anyway. It does increase his attack too, so okay, let's go.
Everybody, stand back. Boba, get them. Eat this. Time to shine.
I got him cornered.
Okay, I think that's about 240k, which is really good, especially for a C0 character. And listen, I'm of the opinion that Neuvilette's no longer meta when he couldn't even do a quarter of this damage in a premium team. I do think natlan units, they unfortunately get a lot of hate, and though some of their designs are a bit obviously questionable by the masses, I still think their kits are so strong. I do feel so bad though, because I do feel like there was a lot of forced pulling happening. Like, obviously Genshin determines the meta, and they do choose to change the meta every other week. Like now the meta is massively going to be lunar charge and electro charge teams because they're making enemies more susceptible to lunar charge. Obviously to encourage you to pull on the most recent banner, to encourage you to gamble. Don't do that. But I stand by what I said, only pull for characters that you like and leave people alone if they don't like them. But overall, I'm really happy with KINICHHH. I'm actually surprised with how much I like him. He's super fun to play. Surprisingly, I thought I wouldn't enjoy his playstyle, but honestly, that was really fun. And as someone who obviously doesn't really play male characters, as you can see, I don't really play male characters. My only other male team is obviously my neuvilette hypercarry team, which is now a hypercarry lunar charge team with my NFR. Other than that though, I don't play guys, so it's actually really refreshing. So now that our food's worn off, I think it's time to go through his final build. KINICHHH is now level 90 out of 90. He's running his signature weapon, also at level 90. He's running 4-piece obsidian codex. And he's C0. His talents, I've hit the benchmark of 699, which I aim for all of the units that I don't use excessively. Only my mains have been crowned. So this is me being generous. I actually do have 30 crowns now, so I'm definitely hoarding. Let's take a look at his artifacts. Firstly, we have his flower. His flower actually rolled quite well. We only have one dead stat, which is defense. His feather also rolled really well. We actually crafted this one, but it was a 4-line star and our third stat was attack, and it rolled all into crucial stats. Our sands, again, this is so lucky. It was a 4-line start and we got 4 rolls into our crit rate and crit damage. Our goblet is our off piece and 3 rolls went into crit rate, and then we had 2 dead rolls into defense. I did try to re-roll this one, but it actually ended up being worse. And then this is our circlet, which has given us all the ER that we could possibly need and some crit rate. We did have 1 dead roll into HP though. But this is his overall build. We have about 2200 attack, which is exactly where I wanted to be. 62 crit rate, which is slightly overcapped, but hey. And then 215 crit damage, which is about where I wanted to be. I wanted to be between 210 to 220. And then his ER is slightly over. He has 127. I was originally aiming for about 110, 120, but this is okay also. And then of course he has his dendro damage bonus goblet. Overall, I'm super happy with this build. I think he's come out really well considering I've only been farming him for 3 weeks with no resin top-ups. And I've used no fragiles on him either, only my normal top-up resin. I used all my fragiles on Mr. Nefer here, so I haven't had any anyway. He also has 61 EM, which is useful. It's not a completely dead stat. The team I'm currently running him in is a Virgin Vape team. So we have my Farina. Here's my Farina's build. She's on her signature 4-piece golden troop, and she's C3 with crown talents. My Xiangling similarly. She's on a pretty decent build. She's running the Catch R5, 4-piece emblem. She's C6, and she is 6-12-12. My Bennett has a pretty mediocre build, but regardless, loads of ER. He's probably got one of the most crucial ults in the team for buffing our damage. So I just stack a stupid amount on him. But here is his Favonius sword. He's running 4-piece noblesse. He is C6. And he is also 6-12-12. So overall, I've really enjoyed making this video and building KINICHHH. I'm really glad that I have gotten around to fixing him. He's actually had no build and he's been so neglected, and even when I had builds on him, I took them off a week later and I barely played him within that week. His character design is super cool. Like I said, it really reminds me of Demon Slayer. And I feel like artifacts went quite well, considering I got 2 pieces that are probably harder to get, like my sands and my circlet. It was lucky the only piece I had to craft was a feather, so it was cheap to craft. But overall, I had so much fun making this video. But let me know down below what teams you think I should run. I did really enjoy the Virgin Vape team. I felt like the damage was really good and it's quite an easy rotation. But I'm more than willing to have some suggestions around burning teams, because I know that burning is also really good for KINICHHH. However, I don't really want to play any kind of spread, hyper bloom, quick bloom teams just because I already have so many of those. I really need either a Virgin or a burning team on my account. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to interact. I would love to hear your guys' opinions on KINICHHH as well. And let me know if you have him. Send me your builds, I'd love to see. But I hope you have a fantastic morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are.